As you grow older, how did you then? I mean, I guess you started to build a lot of cars yourself. You started to drive. You mentioned the hot rods. You mentioned driving away from the police or cops, I should say, in the US. How did how did that transition go from obviously having all these skills from your father to then suddenly building hot rods and then leading to, if it was your first job, with a car garage, or I believe you were in the army at some point. So talk us through the first builds and then going into, sort of passing through.
I joined the military right after high school. I was getting in a lot of trouble with the cops, and so I joined the Air Force. And the entire time I was in the Air Force, even while I'd be deployed and stuff like that, because you get all this tax-free money from being in the desert, I'd come back and build a car. And a lot of times when I'd deploy again, I'd sell that car when I'd get back, and I'd buy something else and use my tax-free money to build something else cool. So
That's
like
crazy.
every year I had a build, because you get like a month off, so I'd get another car and do some other crazy build and sell the old one.
So you would just do it for yourself as pleasure, drive it around for a bit, and then just sell it to someone who was interested, basically.
Yeah, because I would be deployed, so I could sell it while I was deployed. I'd have friends, I'd clean it up before I left, and then I'd just put it up for sale, and I'd sell it, and then I'd be gone for, a certain amount of time, like in the desert, and you make all that money plus the money I saved. And then I'd come back and I'd build another crazy car, because now I can buy superchargers and clutch kits and all the stuff you want to buy. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. So I can imagine when you're probably out, in the desert, that you probably had, I guess, magazines sent to you back then, like subscription where you could keep track
catalogs.
Of. Was that what you had? Summit catalog.
Summit catalogs and hot rod magazines.
That they were delivered to you guys out in the desert wherever you were based, and that's what you would just consume in your spare time, I suppose.
Yeah, and you kind of bring them with you, because if you get a moment here or a moment there, it's just a magazine, you roll it up and you can tuck it in somewhere.
That's crazy. To think that's what it was back then. Now it's like pick out your mobile phone and you can start to check things out if you were still working there.